This is a Dodge Cummins 12 valve. I'm in the process of removing the oil pan, and then I'll be able to have my first initial inspection of the bottom end. This engine, it didn't have any unusual knocks or unusual sounds, so I don't expect to find any unwanted debris in the oil pan. However, that doesn't mean that there won't be any. So any debris in that pan can be a clue as to what's wrong with the engine, if there is anything. So what I don't want to do at this point is flip the engine upside down and then remove the oil pan, because there could possibly be debris in there, and if I would flip the engine just because it's convenient, then that debris could drop down into the engine. So I'd rather leave it in a pan. So I did find some antifreeze in the front of the oil pan, but I think I know where that came from. So otherwise there's nothing unusual in the oil pan, other than it shows me that there was some pretty dirty oil in here. So the water pump is off, and so is the timing cover. And when I initially put it on the stand, I gave the engine about a quarter turn and then put it back. And I think during that time some antifreeze may have come out and run down the front. And so years ago, when I was still a high school student, the shop class teacher allowed me and another student to disassemble an engine. And it was probably an industrial engine of some sort, maybe a tractor engine, probably a 6-cylinder. And I think it was sitting on a stand of some sort. And so, wow, you know, me and the other guy, we could disassemble it and put it back together. So it seems to me I was probably somewhat enthusiastic about that project. And so we did. We took the head off, and pistons and rods came out, and we probably pulled the crank out as well. And so we didn't pay attention to where parts were coming from and to put them back in the same place, because these caps, they all kind of look the same. And at that time, I guess we just didn't realize that, you know, it's got to go back exactly where it came from. And so I don't think the shop class teacher was that impressed with us, but we just didn't know any better. And so that's one of the things I look for before I disassemble an engine is, are the parts numbered so that I'm going to be putting them back the same place where they came from. So this is that's a number 1 right there. Number 1 cap is marked 1, and number 2 cap is 2, and here's a 3 and a 4, so they're marked all the way to the back, 7 being the last one. But the rods are the rods are numbered so that I could put them back together as a set. See, here's looks like an MG 19463, and underneath it is the same. So the caps and rods won't be mixed up because they are numbered, but they're not in such a way that I could keep them in order. So, like, for example, the rod right beside it is a MG 18886. So, and this one is a 19463. So you see what I mean? It's not like, what I want to see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'll do is I'll mark them on the weights here at the bottom of the rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for this video, I will also pull off the rear main cap just to have a look at that bearing. That's the one that, it's usually that one will get the most wear, because it's got the most combined load. And so I'll just take a look there and see what I find. So the crank surface is actually looking really nice. I think this engine has about 270,000 miles. So this surface is not perfect, but it is really nice. And the main bearing, it looks as though, to me it looks as though the engine has run with dirty oil. But even the bearing itself, it doesn't look worn. It just looks kind of scuffed from very minor debris that's been going around through the oil. So first initial inspection shows that the engine is pretty good shape so far. Ah, that's what I was looking for. Standard size.